Hello, everybody, and welcome to this time of the Spiritual Roundtable. This is where we forget the fluff. This is real women, real talk, and real spirituality. I'm really excited, you guys, to have these two ladies on today. So I want to welcome Candace and Bethany both as we speak about the Sophia Code. Now, this is actually a topic that I'm not familiar with. I know I've seen the book. I've never read the book, and I haven't done any of the work. So I'm really excited about getting into this topic because I know that there's, multiple different modalities and so many different ways to work through whatever spiritual stuff is happening in your life, the awareness that you have. We've talked already about the Akashic records. We've talked about healing. We've talked a little bit about energy work. So today's topic is the Sophia Code, and I'm super excited to have these ladies in here. We're going to do a quick introduction and then get right into the conversation. You guys know that these topics and these talks are meant to just have real, raw, honest conversation and bring you different modalities and different ideas and just open your awareness to all things spirituality. So thank you, ladies, for coming today. And if you want to just quickly introduce yourself, we can go in alphabetical order. So Bethany, if you want to just say hello and do a quick introduction.
Hello, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. My name is Bethany Bosworth. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a certified colon hydrotherapist. I'm a Reiki master, a nutritional coach, mindset coach. I own a wellness center in the Denver area. And what I help people do here is detox their whole body, mind, spirit. We got to detox and nourish all the bodies. And I am currently in my halfway point or so in the Sophia Code Circle Journey Leaders Mystery School. And this is a year-long process. And this is my second year at my attempt because the first one was I wasn't ready for it. And this is very, very deep level work. And so now I'm in it, and boy, it's just moving so much. And I'm so grateful to be here to share about it because it is such an important transmission for the awakening for this great age of miracles that we are in. Thank you so much.
All right, Miss Candace.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer, for having me. Hi, Bethany. So good to be in your presence today, ladies, be in this gathering and be able to share the good news about the Sophia Code. About me, I am a special education teacher. I've been a school teacher I'm going into my 16th year of teaching. I'm a Reiki master. I've been studying different forms, various forms of energy healing for a long time. I do past life regression. I am a certified Sophia Circle Journey leader. I am currently leading my second group through the Sophia Code, which I know that's our topic of discussion today. So we'll find out more about. But yes, an energy healer and just wanting to be an ambassador for the Sophia Code and spread the good news about that in any way that I can. So thanks for having me.
I love that so much. So you guys know, don't worry if you don't know where their information is, it will be right below. So wherever you're seeing this episode, you can look in all my social media will have ways to get in touch with these ladies, their links, their email lists, all of the things. So I am so excited, you guys, to just come in today and talk about this. I love the idea of the Sophia Code, but like I said, I don't know a lot about it. Now, I do work with a lot of the masters that are called to be part of the Sophia Code. White Buffalo Catwoman is somebody I'm very familiar with. Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, was one of the first real amazing channeled sessions that I personally had was Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. And it was the first time I channeled in that way, where it was literally like what they were telling me was coming straight through, which was amazing. Now, I had always had the psychic ability and I do connect with and communicate with, but that was one of the most powerful initiations, I guess you could say, as far as my channeling goes. And it was the most amazing, most powerful, most loving experience. It was just insane the way that that felt coming through. So I'm really excited to get into this topic of the Sophia Code. So again, all I know about it is the book. So for somebody that's new to Sophia Code, what would be something right off the bat, like what's the basics of what is the Sophia Code? And you guys can both take turns. You can chime in together, whatever works for you.
Okay, I'll start, I guess. So the Sophia Code it's a modern living codex of light. It's every syllable, every sound, every letter. It's all, by the way, meant to be read aloud because your sacred voice will activate this code within you. And the simple yet profound premise of this is that there is a crystalline genome within all of us, which has been over the years overridden by our carbon-based DNA, our carbon-based genome. And so by reading the Sophia Code, the thought is as you pass through it, and there's 8 key code initiations with the 8 ascended masters, which one of us will speak to today, I'm sure, called the Sophia Dragon Tribe. It is meant to activate the crystalline genome within you, thereby and therefore beginning to activate the sovereignty that is our true birthright.
I love that. That's beautiful. Now, Bethany, how would you explain it? Because I love to get different takes on it because everybody explains things in such a different way.
Oh, well, Candace did a very beautiful job of explaining it. It is a channeled text, and so it's living transmission. It's the words themselves, as Candace was alluding to. The words themselves are encoded with a vibration that begins to activate this divine crystalline genome. And this is a genome that the creator, it makes sense to me to believe that the creator coming in took this veil of forgetfulness so that the creator could have this genuine human authentic experience and learn through all experiences through us. There must be this temporary scale that comes down, a veil that comes down. And so that's the carbon-based DNA that comes as standard equipment, as part of our human spacesuits that we're wearing here. That's the carbon-based DNA that helps us to be that egoic mind personality and to be the one that can receive programming and conditioning from outside sources. But what the Sophia Code does to activates this divine DNA, which has always been there, like the sun behind the clouds. And we get to gradually deprogram the matrix programming and then activate more and more of this divine crystalline DNA. And that allows us to more and more become an embodiment of the divine sovereignness that we came to be, and to wake up to who we really are, which is one with the source. And in the Sophia Code, the name Sophia is the name that the Divine Mother Creatrix presented to 𝙂𝙗𝙗, the channel, when there was this transmission that she received. And to read the story of 𝙂𝙗𝙗, I'm quite certain that this is her 0-point lifetime. She is on a path of ascended masterhood, but all of us are. We all are. That's why we have all these many, many lives, so that we can gradually ascend that scale of consciousness. And so I'm just so grateful that we have the true experience now with these beings that are not embodied, but they are still, they walked upon the earth. And they tell their story. Each one of these chapters is going to be their story about when their feet were upon the earth. And then the second half is their key code activation. And it's a series of declarations, commandments, releasing statements of, disavowing the past lives vows that we took in order to experience everything we've experienced. But now this time of awakening is upon us, and now we get to let the veil fall, or actually raise the veil. What it is the symbolism of the bridegroom and the bride, right? Mm-hmm. That's the sacred union. When we fully wake up, that's full enlightenment. That's when we know who we are. We remember. Because I know that I'm one with source, but I don't necessarily have memories in this memory bank thing in my spacesuit right now. But you become more and more just embodied joy and peace and love and knowingness that everything is working for your good. Everything is working good. And so it's really about taking responsibility now for what we know. And what we know is that we emit a frequency into this world. We're all radio transmitters and we're all radio receivers, and we're all broadcasting this vibration out into the world. Now, when we have our carbon-based DNA as the main operating system, there's the possibility of frequencies that are of one range. When you activate the divine crystalline DNA, then you become a walking radio tower, lighthouse of just perfect love. And that's how we save this world, is the world that doesn't need saving, because it's all
Right.
the creator, right? But one person at a time, waking up, one person at a time, making one decision. Today, I'm going to step into my higher self and realize that I'm thinking those thoughts again that aren't serving me. And guess what? I'm going to tell my brain what we're thinking now.
So
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. I know we're new. So a lot of the people that I've had so far on my show, I've actually know them in some way. And you guys, I don't know either one of you that well, but what's so interesting is I love the way that divine truth will present itself in whatever way works for you. And one of the things that I'm seeing across the board with everybody that I'm bringing onto the spiritual roundtable is there's this process of awakening to, yes, we're human, and yes, that's part of the experience. And we can also access divine truth and divine love and divine light, and we can change the being of who we are in this human experience. It's funny that you're talking about embodiment, because my first book is called Embodied Grace. And that was exactly what it is. It's about, what are you thinking in your head, and how is that keeping you separate from the divine, right? Like, how is that keeping you stuck in old paradigms, programs, patterns that you maybe want to break free up from, and learning that you can change those thoughts and align with something more in terms of enlightenment or empowerment or joy or happiness or peace or whatever it is that you want to do. And so I love so much the way that that it's validating that there are multiple ways to work through this spiritual awakening process, and that there's different things that work for different people. And this is a beautiful way for some people that resonate with this to work through it and really begin that journey. The other thing that I like that you guys kind of both alluded to was that maybe you weren't ready in the beginning. And that's one of the things that I see, that when people are ready, like, what is that? When the student is ready, the teacher will show up, or however that goes, the teacher will come, whatever that is. Like, I love that you guys both kind of alluded to not being ready. I was the same thing, like for years and years and years, I completely tried to shut down my gifts, ignore my gifts, push my gifts away. And it wasn't until I was finally ready to embrace them and accept them that then my life really started to become more fluid, more fun, more exciting, more whatever, because I was not accepting myself, right? So I know that there's always something. It seems like we all go through some kind of struggle. And then as we're healing, it's not always sunshine and roses, but it's so worth it. And if you're doing so from a loving space, I think that's a beautiful way to work through that. And the Sophia Code, to me, feels like that loving space to allow you to progress at your own pace and work through things as they come up. So I would put you guys on the spot a little bit and just like encourage people, I guess, to know that it's okay if you don't get it right the first time, so to speak, right? Because there's a lot of perfectionism out there and a lot of stuff in the spiritual world where it looks like it's all, just, I don't want to, it's all sunshine and rainbows, right? Which is great. And that's a great entryway, but also it's okay if you take some time to process.
Yeah, and we mentioned before we got on the call, we were talking a little bit about our goal today and about just the spiritual bypassing sometimes that can occur. Now, I don't want to throw that term around too much, because the truth is that we don't know what we know until we've experienced it or until we're ready to know it. And so I just wanted, this is the Sophia Code. So here's the book, and the beauty, just to build on what Jennifer is saying about getting ready to be ready, and it being okay to take those incremental steps until you are ready. There are so many beautiful stories, and myself included, about this book calling to someone saying, this has been on my nightstand. This was on my nightstand for 3 years underneath other books. It kept moving to the top of the stack, and people kept saying, have you heard of the Sophia Code? I think you should read it. Check out 𝙂𝙗𝙡. Oh my goodness, her YouTube videos are so amazing. And finally, one day, that was that moment where I got it out and I was ready to start reading it. This was about 3 years ago. And then I moved into the leadership training because I was so moved, because the beauty, I think what's important here to say, what's coming forward strongly for me right now, is that the beauty of this book teaches you about the technology of your feelings, the technology of your prayer, so that bypassing is not even a need anymore. It's not an avenue through which we escape, or it's not an avenue through which we get small in, or it is, this book helps you get big. Your angel wings can get as big as they want. You start occupying your light bodies. And that's okay. If someone listening might think, okay, well, what's a light body? I'm talking about your mental, emotional, spiritual, etheric bodies, things like that. But you begin to occupy all levels and layers of yourself by this book, the Ascended Masters, as the dearest guideposts and friends and mentors you've ever had, in such an equal and shared way of approaching spiritual work through divinity. They treat you as an equal. They treat you as a guide. They're a best friend, and they take you through each one of their initiations, all 8 chapters. And I'll quickly say it's White Buffalo Woman, it's Isis, it's Hathor, it is Green Tara, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, and the Sophia Dragons. And so then you go through successive initiations with them, and they teach you about the technology of your feelings. They teach you about, through their own lives and how they walked in human form, about how to overcome, and then just this beautiful permission to embrace all of those human pieces of yourself, the pieces that are already in your heart, unified, and that you feel good about, and the pieces that are out there screaming for our attention, that need a voice. You begin to start getting tools, many, many tools, that run through your own activated divinity. That is the whole point of downloading your higher self more and more and more through each one of the successive initiations. So you can imagine how your toolbox grows. Bypassing becomes a thing of the past. And I don't mean to make that like a bad word, and that's not judgment, but we're doing the best we can until we get the tools that we need. And so really and truly, it is all about downloading your higher self. And you can imagine what begins to happen when you begin to understand truly how sovereign and divine you are. And it's not a mental concept. It becomes embodied and felt, and you begin to create from it, and your outside world begins to be shaped by it. And so everything begins to change, because this sacred codex, this is a living light codex meant to activate what was humanity's original divine blueprint. And that is, to me, that's straight to the top. It's as powerful as it gets. And so all of those gifts begin to pour in. Your subtle sensory perception begins to grow. Your gifts begin to grow, which is great. That's wonderful. But for me, nothing compares to knowing myself as sovereign and free, non-circumstantially, no matter what is going on in the madness and the chaos in the world around me. It's not my truth. My truth is my divinity. My truth is my heart. My truth is my connection to my creator. So yeah, I think that is a beauty, that this downloaded toolbox that you now have to grow in empowerment.
So it's interesting, as we're speaking about spiritual bypassing. Now, I've spoken to this before, because there are times where people are spiritual bypassing. They really don't want to grow. They don't want to do the work. But there's another piece of this, to where sometimes you don't even know that you're spiritual bypassing, and it may not be quote unquote bypassing. It may just be that you're not ready yet. Right. And the other thing that I think we haven't been taught is learning how to feel our emotions. Like, I kind of jokingly say, feel the feels. You've got to feel the feels. There's something sacred in allowing yourself to fully feel sadness or anger or frustration, or the things that we're taught we're not supposed to feel, right? So there's something sacred in getting to the space where you can feel those feelings without feeling like something's wrong and without judging yourself, right? And all of those, there's so many judgments around feeling. And I think that's where the airy fairy, all sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, you know what I mean? Like that's a great place to be. And then there's a lot of that too. But at the same token, I don't think if you only focus there, you're missing out on the fullness and the wholeness of what this human experience can offer. And again, that's my opinion.
And Jennifer, Mother Mary teaches about the beauty and the function of both the rose petals and the thorns. So that's exactly to me what you're alluding to and transmit.
This transmission does a beautiful job of getting us in touch with our inner children, our inner child. And then giving the love to the inner child that maybe you didn't receive as a child. Maybe, those formative years were hard. And there's so many ways that we've been taught that we need to hold ourselves in some type of regret or unforgiveness for something that we were or weren't or did or couldn't do. So many things. And, there's a teaching that you can't be fully walking in the light if you are holding anyone or any part of you in darkness. And so that's what this is really an invitation to, is your inner guru, your inner child. And then when that healing between you and your inner child happens, and then you have that union together, it's this integration of your inner child. That's when we say it's the Phoenix child rising. And it's an important tool, these feelings of ours. I love that you said that, Candace, that we now see these feelings, the emotions, as a spiritual technology. No longer are they ruling the show, and we are more sovereign in how we choose to respond to the emotional body, this 3D vessel that responds to other people's emotions and the experiences with emotional energy. And but see, yes, it's so important, this concept of sovereignty. Sovereignty to me means no one gets to tell me how to feel, what to think. No one gets to take my energy without my permission. And I make my own decisions about what I believe now based on what brings most peace to me and what makes the most sense to me about what this concept of divinity is. And I'm really feeling this beautiful she of 1,000 names. Her name is Isis. She's one of the Egyptian goddesses, and she has a chapter, the key code activation for her chapter is just a statement after statement after statement. I forgive myself for. And one of the ones I was asking which one I should choose, share, and it's, I forgive myself for seeing divinity as something outside of myself. And that, that is really the core of suffering. That's also taught is that this idea that God has made some type of mistake in allowing the suffering to happen. And so we can learn through the suffering, but as we activate our divine crystalline DNA, and the more that we ascend in our emotional and spiritual resonance, then we spend less time attracting to us the lower frequency experiences that we're no longer, because we're learning the lesson and we're no longer resisting. And the amount of suffering is often very directly proportional to how much we're resisting the lesson and just bringing it in and just saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to do this, blast off. I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to learn the lesson so I don't have these patterns happening over and over. And so
I love that you're talking about forgiveness work, because forgiveness work is probably one of the most powerful things I think anyone can do. So, and it's interesting too, whenever we dive into forgiveness work, one of the things that I feel like a lot of people resist it because they're like, well, I don't want to let somebody off the hook. And it's like, the truth is you're letting yourself off the hook. Like, that's the truth about it. It's not letting someone else off the hook. It's letting yourself off the hook, because as long as you're holding on to the unforgiveness and you're still in that energy, you're still holding that vibration, you're still attached to something within that. So the forgiveness is really for you, right? The forgiveness work is really for yourself, so that you can release and let go of something that may be dragging you down or holding you back or whatever. But I know for myself personally, the forgiveness work for me, when I was working on forgiveness of other people, was so much easier than forgiving myself. Like, that was where the big work came in, right? Forgiving myself. And a lot of the women that I work with, and myself included, right? Like, we always tend to draw the women that are suited to us because we've been through something similar, was perfectionism. And that's something that I know has been coming up again recently, is like this thread of perfectionism. And I think forgiving yourself for not being perfect is a powerful thing. But the thing is, we're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to be in this human experience and feel all the things. And living this way is perfect, because you're meant to experience all of it. Now, of course, we can refine it and quote unquote clean it up a little bit and have a little bit more of a divine sovereign experience. And that's where the beauty and the sacredness of life really gets juicy, I feel like.
Absolutely. And the Sophia Code, it gives you the musculature to feel your feelings and dig deep into the self-exploration in a non-judgmental, safe, non-harming way. And you have those ascended masters there with you, guiding you in such an unconditionally loving way. So you're so inspired by their love, by their grace, by their beauty, which you don't have to be an expert to access, by the way. You really don't. They make themselves as available as possible in just the right intensity and dose and way that each one of us need as we go through their key codes. But they help us going through the key code initiations. And like Bethany said, doing the sovereignty calls, the restoration, the reclamation of, the releasing of it. You just begin to know your petals and your thorns in so much more of a compassionate way, through a compassionate lens, and you become more, you develop more self-trust through that level of self-knowing. And so that musculature that you develop allows you to react in a more kind and loving way to yourself, which then absolutely reaches out and helps you be more kind and loving to others, especially those who have hurt us. So like Bethany said earlier, we can react in much more sovereign ways that are steeped in self-respect and dignity and self-love, because humanity has been through incredible things, and no wonder we have so much to work through and release. But here, here is through this book. I'm just giving everyone one more visual. 𝙬𝙗 is the author. It's 𝙬𝙗𝙦, and then R.A. is her last name. Anyway, through the book, it is an invitation to freedom, to sovereign freedom, and to that self-forgiveness that so many of us, people say self-forgiveness work, self-forgiveness. Well, how do you do that?
Yeah.
It's not about getting rid of pieces of ourselves.
Right.
It's not
It's
bringing
embracing them. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we can talk on this subject for, I mean, we could just keep going and going. I feel like this is such a deep topic that we could keep talking about. But what I know that you guys both are practitioners. Is that, or what is ambassadors? What is the right word for what you do with the Sophia Code?
So what Bethany and I have done is pass through, and I'm speaking for Bethany just momentarily, just because I know we have the shared experience, but she'll speak to it herself. You sign up for Sophia Circle Leadership Training. And so it is like, yes, you're an ambassador for the Sophia Code. That's typically not even a word that's thrown around very much. It's more about being that Sophia Circle leader. And what that means is when you lead someone through a circle, it is, you go through the book chapter by chapter. And so there's a certification process that you go through this mystery school process with 𝙬𝙗 and her and her mystery school. So you end up being a facilitator, and then you lead other people through, and it's anywhere from 13 every other week to once a month, to just how the facilitator wants to schedule that out. But that's the action steps of wanting to go even deeper and really be an anchor for divine feminine Christ consciousness. Becoming a Sophia Circle leader is just an absolute beautiful actioned way to do that, and to help fulfill your soul purpose, and to help reach other people's hearts.
And you both do that, and you're both in Colorado, am I correct? So anybody in that area, please be sure to look below and get all the details so that you can connect with these amazing women. And I just want to ask, and I'm going to put you guys on the spot again. I want to ask you for one like little final message, or one important thing that you want to mention about your work as we get ready to kind of close up today's session. And you guys, I try to keep these short just so that because there's so much out there, right? We want to go in little things that we can digest and really feel into. But if you want more information, definitely find out the information in the description. I'll have everything there where you can find out more about these ladies. So if you could leave today's session with one thing, or one topic, or one advice, what would it be?
Well, I'll just go ahead, and it's related to the work that I do here, which is, please take care of the vessel. This is the temple, and the power and presence of this creator is in every one of your electrons, and you are an energy light being. And the more energy that you can put in your body, and the more that you can detox the things that aren't supposed to be in your body, that are keeping your body in a low frequency. This is a crucial part of spiritual ascension, is to learn proper temple keeping, and to really honor and cherish this body as a vehicle of the divine. And so if we are, we're taking care of it now with heightened awareness of how important this energy and how life filled your foods are, and how many toxins you might be carrying. So that would be my suggestion to everyone, to look at, if the gut is out of health, and your serotonin is out of whack, and we're suffering in our emotional and physical body, let's get that taken care of so that we can get activated, and more and more and more. We can be that lighthouse of love, radiating love into this world. Thank you very much. It's an honor.
Thank you,
And
Bethany.
love thyself.
Yes, love and know thyself. Thank you. That was a beautiful message, Bethany. And I'll say that there is what you begin to understand as you move through this book is this sacred promise, this sacred covenant that is your body being the Ark of the Covenant, through which your light work, through which your divinity will create. And so the body and your spirit have this beautiful promise, this beautiful co-creation, a promise to work together. So your divinity comes to the body says, yes, I will house you, your body is your divinity in action. It's your divinity in flesh. And you begin to understand what a beautiful Ark of the Covenant that is, and how much each of us are divine, and how much each of us can, by one simple act, one kind word, one act of self-love, how much that truly ripples across the human collective and through the planet, because we really are truly coded to be that radiant, that illuminated, that divine, that wise, that embodied. So it's activating it, going through each initiation one after the next, and you begin to understand all of the beautiful sacred technology that's involved in your light work, and how it is delivered through your voice, through your light fields, through your body. It's just a sacred covenant between your spirit and your physical body, and they truly are one. So I wish everyone such peace along your healing and empowerment journey. I hope this transmission has touched you today, and I'm so very grateful to be in the presence of such two beautiful women here doing such amazing work for our collective and the planet. So thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. I feel so blessed to be able to bring you guys all of this amazing work and this beautiful modality known as the Sophia Code. It's expression, it feels like to me. Again, like I said, I'm not very familiar with it, but I love it and I resonate with it so much. So just a quick reminder to everybody, all of the information for Candace and Bethany will be below in the description. So look for that. If you're on my email list, you'll also get the information there. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I always forget that part. And don't forget to check out the Ascension Club membership if you guys have any questions there. I love a lot of this. One of the things that I channeled for this year at the very beginning for Aries season was I do a divine alignment session each month, and it was I am spirit in action. So what a beautiful way to incorporate this for this year. So thank you ladies both so much for being my guests today. I appreciate you both. Thanks to everybody who's watching, and we will see you guys all next time. Bye for now.